Hi everyone. Do you want to watch complete explanation of Newton's laws of motion in the form of group discussion? Group discussion improves communication skills, thinking skills and confidence. It helps students to understand different viewpoints. It is very useful in job interviews and many competitive examinations. I am SARAVAKOTA, working as School Assistant Physical Science in ZPHS SARAVAKOTA. My students of class 9th are going to present you a group discussion on Newton's laws of motion. Please watch and encourage. Thank you.
Hi friends, welcome to today's group discussion on the topic of Newton's laws of motion and their application. I am Vaishali. I am studying 9th class in ZPHS SARAVAKOTA Mandal, Srikakulam district. The father of scientific method, Aristotle, said that the natural state of an object is rest, but Galileo said that the natural state of an object is uniform motion. Isaac Newton further studies Galileo's ideas on force and motion are presented three fundamental laws known as Newton's laws of motion. These laws describe the relationship between a body and the force acting on it. Newton's laws of motion forms the foundation of classical mechanics. Let us explore more details about Newton's laws of motion. Let me introduce the participants. She is Tejaswini, she is Sri, she is Devipriya.
Newton's first law of motion explains what happens if a known net force be acting on a body. Newton's first law of motion explains a body remains rest or uniform motion unless acted upon by an external force. Newton's first law of motion, also known as the law of inertia.
Can you give some examples in your daily life?
I will explain them. A book on a table remains at rest unless pushed. When brakes are applied in a moving bus, passengers fall forward. When a car makes a sharp turn toward one side, persons in the car move toward other side.
Very good examples are given. What are the applications of Newton's first law of motion?
Seatbelts in car helps to prevent injuries during sudden stops. Designers in ships and aeroplanes are based on Newton's first law of motion. They keep the ships stable and safe.
Then what about Newton's second law of motion?
Newton's second law of motion explains what happens if a net force acting on a body. Newton's second law of motion states the rate of change of momentum by any object proportional to the applied unbalanced force F proportional to dp by dt.
Can anyone explain in detail by giving examples?
I will explain it. If a body is pushed with greater force, it starts moving with higher acceleration. If you want to stop a moving car, brakes are pressed. That causes deceleration.
Very good explanation. Are there any applications of Newton's second law of motion?
In sports, the force is applied with a kicking a ball, determining speed and acceleration. In rocket propulsion, thrust generated based on the mass and acceleration of exhaust gases.
Well, Newton's first law and second law of motion describes the motion of an object with or without the application of unbalanced force. Then what is Newton's third law of motion?
Newton's third law of motion states that for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Action and reaction force act on different objects. F12 is equal to minus F21.
Can you give some examples from your daily life?
I will explain it. While swimming, the swimmer pushes the water backward, the water pushes the swimmer forward. While jumping from a boat, action force is applied on the boat in backward direction. Reaction force pushes us to land.
One fires a gun and the action force pulls the bullet outside the gun and the reaction force pushes the gun backward. When you slap, the pain in the cheek is due to the action force. The pain in the palm due to the reaction force.
Well explained. Tell me some applications of Newton's third law of motion.
In rockets and jet engines, high velocity gases expelled backward. In rockets moves forward. A rover uses force to push water backward and the water pushes the boat forward. In garden sprinklers, water is rejected from the holes and the sprinkler rotates in the opposite direction. That means Newton's third law of motion is vital for understanding motion, designing vehicles and explaining natural phenomena.
From this group discussion, it is evident from the Newton's laws are not just theoretical. It is the heart of every motion. Thank you for all participants for their wonderful explanation. This concludes today's group discussion.